Welcome to our channel, where we bring you the most amazing discoveries from the world of science. Today we're going to take you on a journey back in time to explore what life was like 1,000,000 years ago. Prepare to be amazed by the incredible facts about our planet and its inhabitants during that era. So sit back, relax, and get ready for an adventure through time. 10. Megafauna roamed the Earth. Life 1,000,000 years ago was very different from the world we live in today. One of the most shocking facts about that era is that it was home to megafauna, which are animals with extremely large bodies. These creatures would be considered giants by today's standards. One example of megafauna that lived 1,000,000 years ago was the Irish elk, a species of deer with massive antlers that could grow up to 12 feet wide. This is truly incredible when you consider that the largest living deer species has antlers that are only a fraction of that size. Another example of megafauna is the North American smilodon, also known as the saber-tooth cat. As its name suggests, this ferocious predator had saber-like teeth that could grow up to 12 inches long. It's hard to imagine any modern-day cat with such terrifying weapons at its disposal. But these are just two examples of the many megafaunal species that lived 1,000,000 years ago. From giant sloths to enormous whales, the Earth was truly filled with creatures of all shapes and sizes. These animals adapted to their environment in order to survive, but unfortunately, many of them went extinct due to changes in climate and habitat. Studying megafauna helps us understand the history of our planet and the impact humans have had on it over time. It also reminds us of the importance of protecting endangered species so that they don't end up like the megafauna that came before them. 9. Neanderthals were our closest relatives. Neanderthals were an extinct species of archaic humans that lived in Europe and parts of Asia. They first appeared around 400,000 years ago and were the closest relatives of Homo sapiens. In fact, studies have shown that Neanderthals and Homo sapiens interbred, meaning that some people today have Neanderthal DNA in their genetic makeup. Neanderthals were well adapted to the cold climates of their time and had a strong muscular build. They were skilled hunters and used tools made of stone, wood, and bone. They also had a sophisticated social structure and likely lived in small groups. Despite their many strengths, Neanderthals ultimately went extinct around 40,000 years ago. The exact cause of their extinction is unknown, but it's believed that a combination of factors, including climate change, competition with Homo sapiens, and possibly interbreeding, played a role. While Neanderthals may be gone, their legacy lives on in the DNA of many people today. 8. Ancient humans used fire. The discovery that ancient humans used fire is one of the most significant in the field of archaeology. For centuries, scientists debated when and how Homo sapiens started using fire. Some believed that our ancestors simply scavenged and used existing fires, while others argued that they actually created their own. Evidence has been found suggesting that Homo sapiens controlled and used fire as early as 1.5 million years ago. If true, this would suggest that firemaking was one of the key factors in the development of modern humans. The use of fire allowed our ancestors to cook food, which made it easier to digest and more nutritious. It also provided warmth and light, making it safer to live and travel at night. Additionally, fire can be used as a tool for protection, allowing humans to defend themselves against predators. The ability to control fire gave our ancestors a significant advantage over other species, helping them to thrive and eventually spread across the globe. As we learn more about the role of fire in human history, we can better understand what made our species so successful. 7. The first cities were built. The first cities began to emerge around 1.6 million years ago in Mesopotamia, which is now modern-day Iraq, Kuwait, and Turkey. These early cities were home to thousands of people who lived in close proximity to each other. The inhabitants of these cities were primarily engaged in agricultural activities, growing crops and raising livestock. They also developed specialized crafts and trades, such as pottery making and metalworking. The rise of cities led to increased social complexity, with different classes and hierarchies emerging among the population. As cities grew in size and wealth, they became centers of trade and cultural exchange, attracting people from different regions and backgrounds. However, life in early cities was not without its challenges. Overcrowding, sanitation, and the spread of disease were common problems. Cities were also vulnerable to attacks from neighboring states or nomadic tribes. Despite these challenges, the benefits of living in a city, such as access to resources, economic opportunities, and cultural amenities, continued to draw people into urban areas. The emergence of cities marked a significant milestone in human history, setting the stage for the development of complex societies and eventually modern civilization. 6. Dinosaur fossils were discovered. The discovery of dinosaur fossils is one of the most exciting areas of paleontology. Dinosaurs roamed the Earth from the Triassic period until the end of the Cretaceous period, which was around 66 million years ago. They were a diverse group of reptiles that lived on every continent and varied greatly in size and appearance. Some dinosaurs were small, like the Compsognathus, which was only about 3 feet long, while others, like the Argentinosaurus, were huge, measuring over 100 feet in length. Dinosaurs were also adapted to a variety of environments, from the dense forests of the east to the arid deserts of the west. They ate different types of food and had different lifestyles, but they all shared certain characteristics that made them part of the Dinosauria group. One of the most famous dinosaurs is the Tyrannosaurus rex, a large carnivore that lived in what is now North America. Other well-known dinosaurs include the herbivorous Triceratops and the speedy Velociraptor. Although dinosaurs were once thought to have been slow and stupid, recent discoveries have revealed that they were actually highly intelligent and social creatures. Unfortunately, the end of the Cretaceous period saw the mass extinction of dinosaurs, with only birds surviving today. However, their legacy lives on through the fossil record, which provides a window into the amazing world these creatures inhabited. 5. The Great Migration. The Great Migration was a massive movement of people from the southern United States to the North and the Midwest that took place between 1910 and 1970. This migration was driven by a number of factors, including the boll weevil infestation, which devastated the cotton industry in the South, and the rise of Jim Crow laws, which enforced racial segregation in the southern states. African Americans began to move north in search of better economic opportunities and a more equitable society. The Great Migration had a profound impact on both the northern and southern United States. In the North, it led to the growth of black urban centers and the emergence of a new black middle class. In the South, it resulted in a sharp decline in the population and a loss of human capital. Overall, the Great Migration was a significant event in American history that helped to shape the country's social, political, and economic landscape. 4. Ancient Egypt flourished. Ancient Egypt was one of the most powerful and influential civilizations in history. It lasted for over 3,000 years and left behind a rich legacy of art, culture, and architecture. The Egyptian civilization began around 3100 BC with the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt under King Menes. It reached its peak during the Old Kingdom period when the pharaohs ruled as gods on earth and built magnificent pyramids and temples. The Egyptian economy was based on agriculture, with the Nile River providing fertile soil for crops. They kept livestock, traded with neighboring civilizations, and had a strong military to protect their borders. Egyptian society was highly stratified with the pharaoh at the top, followed by nobles, priests, scribes, and merchants. The majority of the population were farmers and laborers. Egyptians believed in a complex religion with a pantheon of gods and goddesses. They mummified their dead and buried them with their possessions to ensure their safe passage to the afterlife. After the Old Kingdom, Egypt went through several periods of decline and conquest. During the New Kingdom, Egypt became a powerhouse once again, expanding its empire into the Levant and Nubia. However, by the end of the New Kingdom, Egypt was weakened by internal strife and foreign invasions. The last native Egyptian dynasty fell in 30 BC when Cleopatra committed suicide rather than submit to Roman rule. Despite its eventual demise, ancient Egypt remains a symbol of power, wealth, and cultural achievement. 3. Early humans used tools. Early humans have been using tools for over 2.6 million years, which is evident from the archaeological record. Some of the earliest tools date back to the time of Homo habilis, a species of early human that lived in Africa. Homo habilis used simple stone tools for cutting, chopping, and scraping. As time went on, other species of early humans developed more advanced tools, such as the spear. These tools were used for hunting animals and for defending against predators. Early humans also learned how to make fire, which allowed them to cook food and stay warm at night. The development of new technologies allowed early humans to adapt to different environments and to spread throughout the world. 2. The Silk Road was established. The Silk Road was an ancient network of trade routes that connected the East and West. It was established around 130 BC during the Han Dynasty in China and played a significant role in the spread of Buddhism to Central Asia and Europe. The Silk Road facilitated the exchange of goods, such as silk, spices, and ivory, between the empires of Asia and the Mediterranean. It also fostered cultural exchange, allowing ideas, customs, and technologies to travel along its routes. The establishment of the Silk Road had a profound impact on the economies and societies of the nations it connected. It contributed to the growth of cities along its routes and created new opportunities for merchants and traders. However, the Silk Road was not without its challenges. Traders faced dangers such as bandits, harsh weather conditions, and difficult terrain. Despite these challenges, the Silk Road remained an important trade route for centuries, and its legacy continues to inspire awe and wonder today. 1. Ancient Rome grew to its greatest extent. Ancient Rome was a powerful and influential civilization that reached its greatest extent around 1 million years ago. At its peak, the Roman Empire spanned vast territories, encompassing much of Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. Rome's strategic location in the Mediterranean Sea made it a hub for trade and cultural exchange. The city's impressive infrastructure, including its roads, aqueducts, and public buildings, facilitated the efficient movement of goods and people within the empire. Rome's legal system, which emphasized justice and order, helped to maintain stability throughout its vast territories. The Roman army was a formidable force that ensured the empire's security and enabled its expansion. Despite its power and influence, the Roman Empire eventually declined and fell victim to internal strife and external pressures. Nevertheless, its contributions to law, language, architecture, and engineering continue to influence Western civilization today. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. We hope you enjoyed learning about what life was like a million years ago. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already so that you never miss out on our amazing videos. And be sure to leave a comment below with your thoughts or any interesting facts that we might have missed. Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.